As traders at Axis Bank expect the fixed income market to remain calm today as investors shift focus to the debt management office 700 billion Naira T-bills auction. Meanwhile, the bond market is expected to remain active as investors continue to cherry-pick certain bond yields. Ademola Osuntoki, Treasury Team Lead at Axis Bank, joins me now for more market movements. Ademola, thanks a lot for joining us on the show today. Before we get into the expectations of today's primary market auction, let's talk about some of the movements we've seen within the liquidity space and for you now, drivers of the improvement in liquidity in the market at this moment.
So good afternoon, David. Thank you very much for having me. So I think, as you've mentioned, we've seen a large uptick, especially within market liquidity. We saw an improvement of about 1.5 trillion, and this is owing to fact payments, coupon payments, as well as a bond maturity this week, which has significantly increased system liquidity. So consequently, we can see the market liquidity in a debit of 58 billion. However, this is an improvement, as I mentioned, of about 1.5 trillion.
And now let's talk about expectations in terms of the subscription level yields that we might expect from stop rates that we might expect from today's T-bills auction. Your take around how the market is tilting at this moment, what we should expect, and given the fact that this is one of the last that we're going to have within this quarter.
Yeah. So I think, as you mentioned, within the is an NTB auction today where about 700 billion is going to be offered across the standard maturities, which is the 91, the 182, as well as the 364-day paper. If we go by what we've seen within the last auction, we did see a large increase across all tenors. So, the 91 closed at about 18, the 182 at 18.5, and we saw the largest increase on the 364 at about 19.94. This week, it's going to be a different story, given that we have significantly more liquidity in the market, and consequently, I do expect to still see rates elevated. However, I do think we'll see a decline across the long end, so we might see rates anywhere from 19 to about 19.5 stop rate for this NTB auction, which is going to take place today. However, I still believe that this is still very attractive for a number of investors.
And talking about the attraction at this moment now, the bond market, we're also seeing some cherry picking going on there. Give us some insight on how should we also expect developments within the FX space to also shape up as we are wrapping up the month of March and looking forward into April. Do you expect to see further stability in the FX space?
Yeah, so I'll start by taking the bond auction. We had a bond auction on Monday where we had the 2029s as well as the 2033s which were offered. We continue to see increased demand for this government securities. This was well oversubscribed. Out of the 300 that was offered, total subscription was about 500 billion, of which they undersold. So we saw them sell about just shortly under 300, just about 279 billion. So there is significant demand within the bond space as well. We do see investors cherry picking as they're looking to pick, especially some of those on the run bonds. So that's the 2029s as well as the 2033s. Regarding the FX, to get onto that point, I do expect to see some stability. We've seen rates, there was a slight depreciation day on day by about 1 Naira on both on the NAFEX as well as the NFM. We do expect to see rates around similar levels. The issue here is we are seeing significantly more demand than available supply. So as more supply comes into the market, we should see some appreciation. But by and large, we do expect to see rates around similar levels today.
Okay. We'll leave the conversation here for now, Ademola. Thanks a lot for your time on the show today. That was Ademola Osuntoki, Treasury Team Lead at Axis Bank.